What's going on, people? Welcome back to Curtis Shaw TV, back with another transfer update video. Today, we'll be looking at the latest players linked with a move in and out of Arsenal Football Club. First of all, before we start today's video, big up everyone who's been supporting the channel, liking, subscribing, commenting, all of that good stuff. Appreciate everyone who watched the vlog as well over there in the US. First vlog, so obviously, you know, it's a practice one. Hopefully we'll get better. And any games I go to this season, actually, I may try and vlog them. So hopefully we'll get better with them. So big up everyone who's commented on them. Really appreciate it. Now, from the beautiful heights, up there in Orlando, beating Chelsea 4-0, thinking, I even said we can challenge for the title. It was a joke, by the way, but the mood was so good at the time. From the sublime to the ridiculous today, people. Arsenal were beaten in a pre-season friendly today at home against Brentford 2-1. You beat Chelsea 4-0, then you come back to Colney and you get beat 2-1 by Brentford. From the sublime to the ridiculous. Now, I will calm you all down a little bit because I know everyone's losing their head at the moment. What I will say, Arsenal didn't play a strong team today at all. So that is the one kind of thing that is stopping me from, having a bit of a go at Arsenal today. Let's have a look at the team. The team today was Matt Turner in goal, Cedric at right back. They played Walters, the young player, and Rob Holding at centre back. Tavares was at left back. They played Elneny and Lokonga and Maitland-Niles in midfield with Marquinhos, Reece Nelson and Eddie Nketiah up front. Now, in all fairness, Brentford were not at full strength, although it was a stronger team than us. Ivan Toney didn't play, who's obviously their best player, but they did have a few other players who feature in their first team. So, I mean, for me, you look at that starting 11 for Arsenal, I don't think any of those players will start come the opening day of the season. In fact, sometimes I actually don't mind some of these squad players not doing well because it kind of shows Mikel Arteta that you can't rely on a lot of these players. And some of these players need to be moved on in this transfer window, that is for sure. It was interesting. Hector Bellerin didn't come off the bench, or Patino, Sego and Souza, four young players, came off the bench. No Hector Bellerin, no Lucas Torreira. Pepe didn't play, although he did come on the other day. I think a lot of these players are actively trying to be moved on at the moment. Brentford took the lead early in the first half, and Bremo scored. Eddie Nketiah scored the equaliser, and then Ryan Trevitt put Brentford back in front. That was just before half-time. There was no goals in the second half. Arsenal apparently dominated possession, but doesn't really matter at the end of the day. Arsenal were beaten 2-1 by Brentford. As I said, it breaks up this record of winning every pre-season game, which obviously isn't as good. It's not a positive thing. But the only, thing that kind of plays it down a little bit is none of the players that played will play at Crystal Palace, I'm sure. But still, a lot of experienced players. Turner, Cedric, to Elneny, Lokonga, Maitland-Niles. These are international players. The rest of them have played at youth level for their country. So, still disappointing to lose. But I think we know that a lot of these players won't be good enough come next season. And listen, I think we have to look at the strength in depth of our squad because you don't want to be relying on too many of these players next season. I think Ainsley Maitland-Niles will be moved on. I think Nelson will be. I think Tavares will be. So a number of these players will probably be moved on. So Arsenal were beaten 2-1 by Brentford this afternoon at London Colney. I'm not sure if they'll show the highlights on the Arsenal website. I'm sure they won't want us to see a defeat against Brentford. So there you go, people. Let me know what you think in the comments about this defeat. I don't think it's anything to get carried away about. Listen, Leno Tielemans, the soap opera continues. Will this deal happen? I think it will happen sometime probably in August. But there's been a slight twist in proceedings today. So, Leicester are on the verge of selling their goalkeeper Kasper Schmeichel to Nice in France. It looks as if Schmeichel could be on his way out, and He could be heading over to the French league. Schmeichel is now 35 years of age, turns 36 in November. Didn't know he was that old, to be honest. And Leicester are interested in signing Bernd Leno from Arsenal as Kasper Schmeichel's replacement. Now, the whole kind of story and how it's coming out is people are saying Arsenal, give Leno to Leicester, put a little bit of cash on top, take Yuri Tielemans to Arsenal. Makes complete sense. Leicester need a goalkeeper. Leno is a very good goalkeeper. I think he's good enough to be Leicester's number one. You take the money that he's worth off Tielemans, and maybe you pay 15 or 20 million pounds for Tielemans plus Leno. Will this deal happen? Now, Leno has been in advanced negotiations to join Fulham. Apparently, one of the factors to him joining Fulham was Leno wants to stay in London. He's got a family. He wants to stay in London. Would he be prepared to move up to Leicester? Leicester certainly a better team than Fulham. Fulham are going to be in a relegation battle. Leicester will probably be challenging for a European place. Is he that keen to stay in London that he would reject that move? It will be interesting. It's a no-brainer, really. As I've said before, I believe Yuri Tielemans ends up at Arsenal. I think that what is delaying this is Arsenal have to sell players. They have to reduce this wage bill. Then I think we will make a move for Yuri Tielemans. As I said, I think we will end up signing him. But as I said, we always have that worry in the background that Manchester United want a midfielder. If they can't get Frankie de Jong, then apparently they are going to make a move for him, although they did announce the signing of Christian Eriksen today. Eriksen has been playing in that centre midfield role for Brentford, so maybe they won't need him. But Arsenal, Yuri Tielemans, I think it's another saga that will continue. It's a Yanam Villa, it's a Julian Draxler, it's a Gonzalo Higuain. We'll speak about him all summer, but hopefully we will get this deal done. So we'll have to see what happens regarding Yuri Tielemans. Would you swap him for Leno plus cash? I think it's a no-brainer. Arsenal have been handed a big boost in their transfer hunt for Lucas Paqueta of Lyon. The Lyon owner and sporting director was speaking over there to French television, and they have admitted to the French press they are going to have to sell players that they don't want to sell this summer. Lyon had a big squad. Last season they were in Europe. They obviously, you need a bigger squad to contend with European football. It was a massive shock to Lyon. They haven't qualified for any European competition this season. No Champions League, Europa League or Conference League. They need to reduce the wage bill. They need to bring some money in for the loss of European football, and they have to reduce the size of their squad. Apparently, they're having difficulty offloading a lot of their players. Aouar has a year left on his contract, believed to be available for £15 million. Nobody seems to be interested in him. But the player that we've been heavily linked with this summer is Lucas Paqueta, Brazilian international, was in the French team of the season this year. It's believed they'd be willing to take 40 million euros, which is around £33.5 million. Now, Edu said the other day, Paqueta was a very good player, but he wasn't a priority for Arsenal as they had players in a similar role like Fabio Vieira, like Martin Odegaard. Was he just trying to play it down? Sometimes when you're trying to sign a player, the worst thing you can do is publicly big him up, because that's going to make the club that you're trying to sign him from think, oh, you really rate him, do you? You're going to have to pay more money for him. Maybe Edu's playing it down. Listen, we don't really need him, but in the background, maybe he is still negotiating for him. Paqueta, for me, is a very talented player. He has that little bit of magic, that little bit of quality. Can he play in that midfield pivot next to Thomas Partey? I think he plays a little bit further up. Maybe we change the system a little bit. But for £33.5 million, I think he would be a bargain. He's 24 years of age. He's in the Brazilian squad. Are Arsenal making life difficult to Lyon to try and sign him at a cheaper price? We'll have to see. But Lucas Paqueta, Lyon need to sell, and they are struggling to offload players. Would you sign Paqueta for £33.5 million? I think a lot of you would. but can he fit into the team and into the system? In signing Fabio Vieira, is that kind of the role that he would have played? So we'll have to see on that one. Lucas Paqueta drama continues. A boost for Arsenal ahead of next week's kickoff in the Premier League. Of course, we kick off next Friday away at Crystal Palace. Tough game against Zaha and Eze and all those players at Palace. Patrick Vieira, of course, former legend, in charge. Kieran Tierney, Tomiyasu, Smith Rowe, all back in full training. Now, Kieran Tierney has been injured. Smith Rowe and Tomiyasu have been struggling. All three of them trained this morning. Now, apparently, Tierney didn't take the whole training session. Part of the session was with the team. Some of the session he did by himself. So that's fantastic news. Three important players, two of our fullbacks, and obviously in Smith Rowe, a key attacking player. Fabio Vieira is the only main Arsenal player that currently remains injured. It's believed he'll be back sometime next week. So a big boost for Arsenal. Obviously, like I said, the majority of our first team players didn't feature in the friendly that we spoke about earlier against Brentford. So, as I said, not the biggest issue that we lost, but certainly doesn't look good on paper when you've just beaten Chelsea 4-0. But these three will be a big boost. Will Kieran Tierney play ahead of Zinchenko at left-back? I would say probably not, because he hasn't featured for the last couple of pre-season games. He's obviously not totally back in training. He didn't do the whole session with the group. So I would expect Zinchenko to probably start next week against Crystal Palace. So it'll be interesting if Tierney, Tomiyasu and Smith Rowe feature this Saturday. Obviously, Arsenal play against Seville in the Emirates Cup, 12:30 kickoff this Saturday. So it'll be interesting if these three will feature in that game, people. So we'll have to see. And the final story, Nuno Tavares edging closer to a move to Atalanta. Season-long loan. No option to buy. Apparently, Atalanta do want an option to buy him. Arsenal don't want there to be an option. So, you know, what you do anyway, you say to Atalanta, listen, if he does well and we don't want to bring him back, we will sit down and negotiate the transfer with you anyway. I think a loan move would be brilliant for Nuno Tavares. He does have talent, but he's not quite ready yet. And Italy is the place where a lot of players learn their trade as defenders. So we'll have to see what happens on that one, people. Thank you very much for tuning in today. Like the video, subscribe, comment on anything we've spoken about today. Big up everyone who's been supporting, who watched the USA vlog that we put out. And I will be back tomorrow, people. Talk is Cheap will be doing tomorrow as well. And I believe I'll be doing Supporters Club on AFTV. So look out for those two. I will have another transfer video out tomorrow and a live stream on Friday, people. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I will see you all soon, people. Bless.